Okay, we're in Austin, Texas, and we're with Pastor Mark Weaver, who you informed me today, 20 years. You've been here in Austin now as the senior pastor?
20 years senior pastor.
Okay, very cool. We'll start out by telling us about your family. Wife, kids, kind of how old they are, where they are, what they're up to, that kind of thing.
Well, extremely blessed. First of all, been married to my sweetheart, Cindy, for 28 years. Married on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 1981. And started a great adventure together in ministry. We do have 3 beautiful children, all adults. My oldest is Rebecca. She is 26 years of age, married to young man Ryan, and they live here, are active in the church. Very pleased with her goals and ambition, her drive. She is just now going into her career field. She just got her master's in sociology, and so she's working in a foster care programming. Jennifer just moved up to Bartlesville, Oklahoma. She's 24 years of age, and she has taken on a position with the school in their recruiting of students, and she'll be working on her master's there while she is attending, while she's working for the school. So that's exciting. I'm always glad to be a part of Oklahoma Wesleyan University. And we believe little announcement, little bulletin promo there. That's where she's at. My son Mark is currently at home for a few more weeks before he starts off back to school, and he's 21. And so we are blessed with those 3 great gems waiting for a grandchild, hopefully sometime within the next couple of years, but no promises.
No promises, huh? All right, well, you're Austin, Texas. You've been here 20 years. You've lived here longer than that.
I moved to the city in 1975, and have been very active in the city.
So you know the city of Austin. There's others probably have heard of the city of Austin, maybe haven't visited it or know much about it. So clue us in about the city. What either is it known for, the culture, or whatever. Just help us know Austin a little bit.
Well, of course, it's a very diverse city. Music is its probably #1 draw as far as people come to the city for its live music scene. It's also turned into a business for the film industry, so it's growing in its film industry. It's a sort of a mecca in Texas for its technological. It's sort of with Samsung and Dell and so many of the businesses here, and semiconductor and all that kind of stuff. So it's very diverse. Education, University of Texas, Hook'em Horns. That with all kinds of other universities that are gathered here. So education politically, it's the capital of Texas, and so politics plays a big role. So it's a very diverse city.
How big is it?
We are over 1.5 million now in our Metroplex area. There's a lot of need here. This is a very sin-hardened city. It's a center for atheism. Madalyn Murray O'Hair, when she was alive, started her American Atheist Center, which still continues to operate here in the city of Austin. This is also a New Age center, so it's very strong in its New Age philosophy. And then it is a very just a morally bankrupt community in that the lifestyle of homosexuality flourishes here in the city of Austin.
And yet you choose to live here, and as you said, it's a wonderful and needed place for the light of the church to be. So tell us about your church, activities of it, culture. What's this church about? What does it do? How can we know this church a little bit better?
Well, I would say a couple of things. One, I believe that we're a spiritual hospital, and so that we have a heart that we preach a message of holiness, but we have a heart that reaches out to some very unholy people. So anybody is welcome into this church, and literally anybody comes.
That's true.
So we have a diverse church. We are made up of Hispanics, blacks, whites, and to me, I want to see that even intensified, so that our church looks like a little bit of maybe what heaven will look like. I don't like a church to have that makeup where there's not an ethnic blend. I think a church ought to look like the community that it is growing in. So we do a lot of evangelism, a lot of missions. We're very involved in prison ministries. We have compassion ministries right here in the church, where we weekly clothe and feed. We are in South Austin. South Austin is probably the side of the city that has probably some of the most economically challenged families, so that we service a lot of people with food ministries and clothing. We have a food pantry and a clothing shelter here, so we are refocusing on discipleship and have made that a key element within our church, because there's been a real vacuum of leadership, and without discipleship you're just not going to have leadership. And so we have refocused that, and along with that, the challenge that we have focused on this summer too is personal devotion, teaching believers the importance again of having a personal devotion.
What kind of prayer requests would you have in these coming days? And it can be either for you personally, your family, or for the church, however you would wish to be praying.
Gosh, I would say prayer-wise for me personally would be more family-oriented, just especially my youngest son. Still in that transition of finishing school up, so I'd just be praying for his decisions in college and that challenge for him. Two of my children have already made it through that, so Mark's left to journey that, and he's in progress going that direction. Church-wise, we have gone through some real challenges as a church over the last 2 to 3 years. We had, a precious young man that was a part of our church family who died of a, just a tragic death, unexpected, and just that was difficult for us.